Hi there, I'm Holly Mcdonald with the Costa Mesa Pod, where we discuss all things concerning the lifestyle, businesses, and activities that make Costa Mesa such a great place to live. Today I have Shilpa with us. Shilpa, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me on today, Holly.
Yeah, so Shilpa, I wanted you to share with people some of the important stuff that you and your company cover. So what company are you with and what do you do?
Our firm is the Asset Protection and Elder Law Center, and we're estate planning attorneys, and we're located here in Costa Mesa. It's important to have a trust and to get your estate planning items in place. And that's just a little bit about the stuff that we're able to help families, individuals, business owners, and seniors with.
Yeah. So, I mean, when I think when the general population thinks of estates and trusts and all of those things, they think that it's, for later in life, but is that really the case?
I think it's important to have an estate plan in place the moment that you have a family or the moment you have any kind of assets. Sometimes I see people who are young families and they have children and they haven't set up their estate plan. And it's really important to get those power of attorney documents and things in place, guardianship, and as well, single people as well that sometimes think, oh, I'm going to wait till I get a family, things like that. If they have assets, it's really important that they get their estate planning stuff in place. So yeah, I definitely don't think you should put it off. You should definitely come in and consult with professionals.
Yeah, I know oftentimes in real estate, when people buy properties, one of the best ways they can protect their asset is to put it into a trust.
Yes, this is so true. And I know, Holly, you deal with investors and people purchasing real estate all the time. And that's very important because that's probably the biggest asset that any of us will own is our real estate, especially here in California.
Yeah.
And it's really important that we protect that by putting it in a trust. And the reason that we protect it is because we don't want to be ending up in a probate court system. And that's kind of what happens if you don't have a trust in place or an estate.
Yeah. When you go to probate, it takes a lot longer generally for you to even have access to sell a property if that's what you're looking to do. And it also eats away at a lot of your gains.
Right.
Yeah.
You definitely see it, I'm sure, from the perspective of, having real estate and when people go to sell. So again, I think it's a great idea. A lot of times people have like mom or dad's property that they've owned since the 1990s and they just don't have it in a trust. And maybe they bought it real cheap for maybe $200,000 and now it's worth over $1 million. A lot of that is going to end up getting taken up into the probate court and, they're not going to see that money that they would want to pass on to their children, their heirs, and their loved ones. But by having a trust and having an estate plan in place, they can avoid having that money go to the probate court.
Yeah, I think that's really important. I think a lot of people overlook that, or they think that it's not necessary right now, or they just don't want to pay for anything else. I mean, when people are putting together a trust for their property or their assets, just ballpark, what sort of fees are they looking at? What sort of amount would they budget?
I would say, to get your assets protected and in the situation, you would be putting your house into the trust. If you have businesses, bank accounts, it covers a lot of stuff, power of attorney. I would say, about $5,000 minimum, if not more. But look at it this way, right? If your asset is worth $1 million, what's to pay $5,000 to protect that asset, right? From having to pay that money on the back end. It's really not a whole lot in the bigger scheme of things.
Sure. And it's also more or less, it's a one-time fee. It's not, yes, you might update it over time, but it's not like property taxes where you're paying those every year or insurance where you're paying it every year or every month.
That is true. It's not something that you're having to pay regularly as an installment or anything like that. In fact, the benefit of our firm is, we work kind of on a flat fee situation. So you pay that and we give you unlimited guidance. So if you have questions, anything like that, you have the ability to come back and ask your questions. We do a review of your trust every 3 years just to make sure that things haven't changed in your family. Maybe you have more children. Maybe, unfortunately, you're divorced. Maybe someone has passed away, things like that. It's always important to make sure that your trust is up to date. So that's something that we really pride ourselves on, is the fact that we kind of are your estate planning advisors for life. That's how we look at it with our clients.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to look at it. And it also, so Shilpa and I are part of a networking group called Trifecta Collaborative. You can check us out on Instagram. But one of the things Shilpa mentioned to our group, which is predominantly females, many of them parents with children, was she mentioned about guardianship and protecting your children and how important it is if you're traveling or whatnot, just to have plans in place in case, God forbid, something happens.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's really important for any parent that has minor children, children under the age of 18. I'm a parent myself. I know Holly is as well. And I know the time and energy and effort we put into our children. It would be a shame in the, unfortunate situation, something happens to us as parents or something like that, to not have a plan in place. So as part of an estate plan, you're able to designate a legal guardian. And that's huge because, I always use the example, mom and dad go out on a date night and the kids are with grandma and grandpa. God forbid something happens, you get into a car accident and the parents are in a coma. The children just don't automatically go to grandma and grandpa. They're going to go to foster care. And then from foster care, grandma and grandpa have to petition and do a guardianship. So that's one of the biggest things people don't think of, and look at the trauma that would be for the family and the child and things like that. And so it can easily be avoided by getting an estate plan in place. So it's really important, Holly.
It just breaks my heart to even think about that. But a lot of people don't know, and you don't know what you don't know. So Shilpa's here to give you some guidance on all of that.
Yes, definitely. And I know the area of, estate planning can be overwhelming, and, people get sometimes nervous or caught up or not sure about the different things, and it can be really overwhelming, but we're able to really break it down at our firm. We really kind of lead with our hearts. So I feel like, we're kind of there to help walk our clients through each step of the way so that it's a lot easier.
Yeah. So I wanted to touch upon your firm and specifically what sets it apart. It's obviously more of a niche.
Right.
Yeah, but go ahead and share some of the things that really do separate yourselves from the other firms out there.
Right. So our firm specializes in the area of estate planning. We've been in practice for over 20 years. We were in Irvine, and we've just recently moved to Costa Mesa. So we're really excited to be expanding and growing our team and having a larger presence in the community. We are a smaller firm, boutique. There's about 4 attorneys, and we've got some support staff and paralegals as well. But what sets us apart is that we kind of give you that personalized attention. We're able to work with each of our clients and really focus on what's important to them because we aren't so large. And, we really do care about what's going to happen to our clients and being able to help them out. So I think that's kind of huge. I feel like when people hear of attorneys, they get kind of intimidated and they might be scared and overwhelmed and worried about, we're going to get charged this, that, and the other. And as a firm, we offer free consultations. So that's also huge. So people can come in and run their scenario past us and just kind of get good advice and see what they need to do. Because each person's situation, each person's family dynamics is so different.
Yeah.
And so they really need to get personalized advice as to what fits their needs the best and what's going to work for their family.
So I know you mentioned the consultations, and that is huge, like a free consultation just to let people know what you can do for them and explain things is, obviously really helpful. I think that will take the pressure off a lot of people to feel like, what am I walking into? What am I spending money on? But how does it work? If somebody reaches out and they want more information, what can they expect from you and your company?
Right. So if somebody reaches out, we're able to set up generally a 30-minute call. So it could either be over Zoom or a phone call, and to kind of just give them an overview as to estate planning, answer any questions, give them some education as to what they're looking for. And then once we have a better idea as to how to proceed with it, we're able to kind of sit down with them and go through a worksheet and kind of a specialized plan that would work for them. So in that sense, we're pretty easy to deal with in the sense that, after COVID with Zoom and things like that, it makes it a lot easier to meet with clients sometimes that are not able to leave their house or things like that. It definitely makes it easier.
Yeah, that's awesome. So now let's talk a little bit about the area. I do love talking about the lifestyle of where we live. And so where do you live? What city?
I live in Huntington Beach.
Okay, great. So, and have you been in Orange County your whole life?
Yes, I'm born and raised in Orange County. So,
yes. A local at heart. Yeah. Have you always lived in Huntington?
No. So I was raised out in Anaheim Hills, Yorba Linda area. Mm-hmm. And then I moved away for college up in Northern California, up at Davis. And then I came back down to Orange County for law school and ended up staying in and moving to Huntington Beach. So yeah,
Okay.
a little bit all over.
So actually that's very interesting because those areas, Anaheim Hills, Yorba Linda area, and Huntington Beach are like two different sides, literally,
Yes.
of Orange County. Do you have anything that you want to share just from your perspective of how those two areas are very different in case somebody's, you know, thinking about relocating and just curious?
Sure.
They're different.
I would say, you know, Huntington Beach, in my opinion, is very kind of urban and more of a city feel. It's great though, because you still get the neighborhoods and the communities, but you still get that city feel, which is kind of nice, and the beach, and it's really busy. But I feel like Anaheim Hills and Yorba Linda, it's a lot more suburban.
Yeah.
So, which is nice, you know, more of that bedroom community feel. There's a lot more hills. It's a different landscape. You know, I think it's beautiful as well. Huntington's got its own beauty, and I think Anaheim Hills and Yorba Linda have a different beauty. But I think, and it's interesting because they're not that far away, only maybe 18 miles apart or something.
Yeah.
And yet there's so much diversity within the county as to what one area is and the other is. But I think they're both really good areas and good communities. Yeah.
Yeah, Huntington Beach definitely has more of that beach culture.
Yes.
And it's a little bit cooler because it's by the
Yes,
coast.
that is true.
Go inland, it's hotter, but you're right. There's a lot more hiking. There's a lot more hills.
You know, they both have their pros and cons, like you're saying, depending on kind of what you're looking for. I know generally that area too, you get a lot more land. You get bigger properties in terms of backyard space and things like that, which is kind of nice if people are looking for that. Whereas in the beach, I feel like it's a lot, you know, you have the beach and you have the parks. So that's kind of everyone's backyard. You know?
Oh yeah. So there's only so much coast, and when people want to be near it, they just have to fill around up with the houses and the condos and everything. So,
right.
And then now your office is located in Costa Mesa, and you're really close to the airport, which is just another hub of Orange County. Yeah.
Yes, it is. It's actually funny. In our previous location, we could hear the planes flying right over us, and they were really loud, but it's a little quieter here. But it is a great location as well. I would say I love Costa Mesa as well, in being in this area. There's so many good food spots, and there's just a lot going on in Costa Mesa. So I enjoy working in this area, you know, because I feel like there's a lot of other businesses, a lot of other things happening around town, and I think it makes it lively. So, and having the airport close by is nice as well.
Within a mile, you've got South Coast Plaza and the Segerstrom Arts Center, and you've got a lot of world-class amenities, and it kind of looks like a little city when you're driving down the freeway at night. So
yeah, I agree. It's a great location. It does have those great amenities close by. It's great that the airport is close by, you know, if you needed to travel, or, you know, you're able to access that easily. So I would say definitely it's a good location. Yeah.
So doing what you do, is there anything that you think would be like a number one takeaway for people if they have any sort of assets? What should they take away from this conversation?
So I would say the biggest thing, you know, in California, our probate court takes a long time. You know, cases take anywhere from 1.5 to 3 years to go through probate. So the biggest takeaway is if anybody owns any property, you know, that's about, I would say, to be safe, $150,000 or more. So we're talking homeowners, anybody. Really do yourself a favor and talk to an estate planning attorney and make sure that your assets are protected, because, you know, all of us get up every day. We work real hard to live in this beautiful county, Orange County, and enjoy the lifestyle. We work for our family, and we work to pass that legacy on. And so it would be a shame to work as hard as we do and accumulate stuff and not be able to pass that on just by not getting the right advice and having the right education in place regarding estate planning. So that's the biggest takeaway that I would say, is really, really make sure that you don't put it off, and talk with somebody and make sure that you get your estate plan in place. We're available for free consultations always, but that's the biggest thing. You know, you don't want to shortchange your family or yourself after working so hard for your assets.
Absolutely. So where can people find you? What's your company name? Where are you on the web?
So our company is the Asset Protection and Elder Law Center. Our web address is www.assetprotectioncenter.com. I believe we might have an Instagram as well, and it's under APEL, which is APEL. And if you look us up online and go to our website, we have a wealth of information and resources, and you'd be able to reach out and schedule a free consultation as well with any one of us.
Well, Shilpa, thank you for educating the community about something that's so important. I can tell it's near and dear to your heart, and you're helping people every day to protect what they've worked so hard for.
Yes, thank you so much, Holly, for having me on here and being able to share what our company does and to be able to educate more of your viewers. I appreciate it. Thank you.
So reach out to Shilpa for all of your needs.
Thank you.